If there are some people
Mhm.
already here, YouTube takes a minute.
Okay, so we're live.
Okay, hi everybody. Hello, hello.
Hello.
This is Linda.
How's everyone today? Where are you tuning in from? If you're already here watching.
If this is your first time here also, my name's Linda.
So, hi guys. Yes, and I'm Gabby
We're from Brain
from
Education.
Brain Education TV. Yes. So, welcome everybody. This live is meant to be interactive for us to go back and forth. So, we want you to interact as much as possible in the chat and so we can all discuss together on our topic today. And so, whether you agree, disagree, like, or dislike what we have to say, please chat and engage with us so that we can have this live together.
And if this is your first time watching one of our broadcasts, we have a cool feature that we talk about in all of our live streams. It's called Super Chat. So in the box where you see the normal chat and the line where you type, underneath it there's like a rectangular box with a dollar sign. It's if you click it, you can send us some love by donating a small amount to our channel to help fund our videos, our content, so that we can keep creating helpful things for you. Especially if you enjoy our channel and you want to show some support, this is the best way for you to do so. Your donations will help us reach more people who are in need of dealing with mental health. Because, as you know, our channel handles mental health, especially for young people. But that's not to say that mental health is only needed for young people, it's for mental health for all different ages. So, if you support that, if you like our content, then consider donating in the super chat. For anyone who donates more than $25 in the super chat, we will create a separate 15-minute one-on-one session with you on something more specific. So, another incentive if you want to connect a little bit more personally with us, a $25 donation or more gets you 15 minutes of talking about whatever you want, whatever is on your mind that you want our input and guidance on.
Yes, so our live today is going to be an open discussion about the topic of self-care. So we'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys do for your own self-care? Do you have a self-care routine or do you want to try some things for self-care? We would really love to know what your thoughts and your self-care practices are. And to get started, as the comments come in, I wanted to mention that many people think that self-care is just for the physical body, like going to the spa, getting pampered, things like that. Yes, that's a part of self-care, but that's not all what self-care is about. So we'd really love to know your thoughts.
So while you guys are typing, I see some people already are saying hi. Hi, Arum. Hi, Michelle. VA Tracker. Hi, Michael. Malik. Marcella. Sally. Sally from Jamaica. Nice. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live. We're so glad to have you here. So if you're just joining, Gabby just asked people to type in the chat, what are your ways to practice self-care? And I think that's a very interesting question to start off with because everyone has a different concept and method of practicing and understanding what self-care really is. So I think that would be a good starting point for us to see how we can delve more into self-care. So if you guys could type, maybe you don't practice self-care. If that's also the case, then you could please type, I'm sorry, I don't practice self care. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're not here to scold you. We're not here to be your mother. We're just here to talk about what self care is and how we can practice self care a little bit better. So we'll give you a few seconds to type your thoughts about self care. Anything is okay. It could just be a word, or it could just be a sentence, or it could be like a feeling. What does self-care mean to you? What does self-care mean in your life? Anything like that. I see a chat from, oh, by the way, Khadija, Myanmar? You're tuning in from Myanmar?
Wow.
Wow. Are you staying safe over there? I heard it's pretty crazy in Myanmar right now. And mathematics, do you know about DPDR? No, I do not. Please enlighten us about what DPDR means in the chat.
In the chat. So Garlene says, self-care is doing what makes me feel good. That's a great definition.
Mm-hmm. Adriana from Vegas. Wow, Trinidad.
Oh,
We have some
Trinidad and
Caribbean
Tobago.
people. We have some Caribbean people today.
Oh.
All right, so as you guys talk about what self-care means to you, just keep typing. Yeah, whatever comes to your mind about what self-care means to you, how you practice it. While you guys do that, I want to talk about some myths about what self-care really is. So, Gabby just mentioned that many people, when they think about self-care, they think about taking care of their physical body, going to a spa, getting a pedicure, going on a vacation, taking a nap, or doing something that enriches the physical body. And that's because society, I feel what we see in the media, what we see in advertisements, what we see on social media, society has painted a picture that self-care is the same thing as self-pampering. But self-care and self-pampering are very clear differences. Caring for yourself and pampering yourself are two completely different things. So, some people may feel like they're not practicing self-care right now, or maybe they don't even know where to start when they talk about self-care because of the false belief that self-care is about going on an expensive vacation to a remote exotic island and then getting a really nice massage, like a spa treatment, something like that. So something luxurious and something that takes a lot of time and effort and resources. And especially if you're in a situation where you don't have all that much time, resources, then some people might think that self-care is not really for me because self-care is something that should be a luxurious act of pampering. Does that make sense? So maybe you think that as well, that I'm not practicing self-care as much as I want because I think self-care is some kind of luxurious pampering thing, like going on vacation, getting a massage, going to the spa, or taking like 10-hour, like sleeping for 10 hours or something like this.
Right, exactly. When we talk about self-care, the two most common things people say for the reasons they can't really practice self-care is one, they don't have enough time, and two, they don't have enough money. So again, like Linda said, people think it's something you have to set a lot of time and effort aside for. So, like going on a vacation or things like that. But the reality is, most people, even in the United States, don't have the means to aside a lot of time apart from their busy daily lives to practice self care that way.
So, in this live, we want to talk about practical ways, realistic ways, and affordable ways, time saving ways to practice self care right where you are, right as you are. I like practical, I like realistic. So, we're going to share those kinds of tips for you, especially if you're joining this live because you feel kind of stuck about, I want to practice more self care, but I don't know how, or I have some self-care routines, but they're not really helping me feel better. So I need to up my self-care game. How do I do that? We're going to talk about realistic, affordable, time-saving, practical ways here. What we believe is self-care is simply about knowing what you need at the moment. Let me repeat that. What we believe and what brain education teaches is self-care. In a definition, self-care is simply about knowing what you need at each and every moment. Not a luxurious vacation. Maybe that's what you need at the moment, then great. But the point is it's not all about luxurious vacations. It's about tuning into yourself, listening to yourself, checking in with yourself, and knowing what do I need right now to feel good, to feel like I'm being taken care of for. Take, for example, think about a mother who cares for her child. So maybe we have some mothers who are tuning into this live, so maybe you guys can relate to this feeling, or even fathers, actually. Any parent will do. Think about how a mother or a father takes care of their child. And I'm just going to talk about mother in this example. So for a mother, how she simply just focuses on, watches her child and pays attention to their child to give what the child needs. So mothers don't need any like special technique or any like special schooling or any special nothing. If a mom just watches her child, pays attention, listens, and sees what the child is doing, then she can get a sense of what that child needs. And then when she gets that sense of, okay, my child needs food right now, then she can act and give that child food. So in that kind of process of watching, focusing, observing, listening, tuning in, it it gives her inspiration to act according to the information she is given. So a mother understands this because she is simply paying attention. It's not because she's rich, not because she's smart, not because she has some kind of special technique or some kind of special skill she learned at a special school. All she's doing is paying attention to the child. So like that, brain education teaches that when you care for yourself, it's about paying attention to yourself, feeling yourself, bringing your mind into yourself, focusing on yourself by simply looking inside, and then you will know exactly what you need. Being mindful of what you need, and that mindfulness is the key because most people, your attention is focused where? Inside or outside?
Out.
Outside. When you're focused outside, then it's the complete opposite of how you know exactly what you need.
Right. When your attention is outside of yourself, it's like a mother who isn't paying attention to her child. If a mother is paying attention, she cannot care for her child that way because she's disconnected from what the baby and is trying to communicate to her. So that's the same thing with us. If our minds are elsewhere, thinking about our tasks, thinking about other people, thinking about other things, thinking about other things that are not yourself, then you are disconnected from that voice inside you that communicates to you what you need. So this isn't some complicated spiritual science, it's just common sense. If you're not paying attention to something, you can't hear that voice. You can't really know what to do and what that voice is communicating to you.
And I'm sure that, oh, by the way, okay, so before I go more into this, does that make sense to you guys? Like, can you type in the chat if it makes sense? Yes or no? I don't know what you're talking about, Linda. Can you describe a little bit better? So please type yes or no if this makes sense because it's a very important key. This is a very important thing
Yes.
that we should know when we think about self-care because society has painted the wrong picture of what self-care looks like and what self-care should be. And because of that wrong picture, people have the wrong belief about what self-care really is. And because of that wrong belief, we practice it in the wrong ways or we're not practicing it at all.
Right. I'd love to read some of the comments too of what people think self-care is. So Garlene says self-care is sleeping in late, journaling, taking time away from my phone. Those are good things. Joanna said self-care is self-love. Yes, definitely. Check says, I think self-care is something that will focus only on yourself and not anything about other than ourselves. So that's basically what we just said, focusing your attention to yourself and not letting other things distract you and listening to that voice inside for what you really need. Adriana says self-care is a variety of different actions that make your body and mind healthy. Yes. New Moon says exercising every morning. Antoine says addressing your spiritual, physical, and emotional needs. Definitely. Listening to that voice telling you what you need at that moment. Annabelle says self-care through full ownership of physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Yes.
All right, so keep typing, okay? Keep typing your comments.
Uh,
So, all right, so that's a very important thing that we just shared. In brain education, Ilchi Lee, the founder, he teaches that self-care, you don't have to think about it in a very complicated way. It's not complicated. We overcomplicate things all the time, and that's what prevents us from really practicing something. So if you've been following with Ilchili's messages, we did a live with him earlier this month, so please check that video out because he talked a lot about uh, brain and this kind of stuff too. But if you follow what he says, if you follow what he's been saying, he says a lot of things like just love myself or connect to yourself. And on the surface, it might just seem like, okay, just love myself, connect to myself. But actually, those are the ways that we teach to take care of your own self. The way to self care is knowing what you need at each and every moment. So if I were to ask you right now, if you can think, if you could just feel your body and feel your mind and feel your heart for a little bit, do you know what you need right now? Are you in tune with that voice that knows exactly what you need at each and every moment? So just think about that for a second. And I'm sure you guys have all had glimpses of that in your life when you're either meditating or looking out into nature or just taking a step back from your busy life and just closing your eyes for a little bit, or maybe your eyes are open, but reflecting and feeling yourself. And you're doing something where you're connected with your inner self and you can hear some kind of voice. It's a very small voice, a very quiet, subtle voice that gives you messages from inside. So some people call that our guide, or some people call that our soul's voice. Some people call that your inner voice. There are many terms for it, but everybody has that voice that is constantly talking to us about what we need, what we want, where we want our lives to go. So there are many words to describe this inner voice, and this is another very important point. Everybody has this voice inside that knows exactly what you need, what you want, and what you should do. That voice is not something that you need to find because you're lacking it. I feel most people practice spirituality and meditation because they feel like I don't have that connection, or I don't have that voice. I don't have the thing that guides me. But that's also an illusion
right.
too. We already have it. But if you can't hear that voice, it's simply because you've trained your brain for many years to not listen to that voice. So, again, it's not that you don't have the answers inside, it's just you've trained your brain to not listen to that voice inside.
Right. Yeah, self-care is not something thing that you should have time outside your daily life. Self-care is something that you should develop and train yourself to practice at every moment and in everything you do. So, for example, let's say someone made you very angry, whether it's your friend or somebody made you angry, and your emotions, especially when you're angry, especially when you're in your emotions, it's hard to listen to your inner voice because you're wrapped up in your emotions. So, to practice self care in an instance like this, you can take a moment and listen to that inner voice and say, okay, this person made me mad. What do I need right now? How can I take care of myself so that this anger doesn't boil me over, doesn't make me angrier, or how do I solve this? And also, when people are angry, it's because they may feel misunderstood. So if that person angry, also ask yourself, okay, how can I take care of myself as I'm experiencing anger at this moment? What do I need from me so that I feel less angry and so that I can create peace in this moment right now? If you have that awakening, if you take that small amount of time to calm down and have an awakening, you find ways to communicate exactly what you want so that you can feel more understood, you could feel less angry, and you can solve your situation. So that is an example of you can easily practice self-care in everyday situations. And again, we just want to really clarify that self-care isn't going on a vacation, things like this. Self-care is taking care and focusing on yourself when you really need it. So in moments like this that I just explained.
Yep. So hopefully, if you get anything out of this live, you can walk away knowing that you don't need to make your life separate from self-care. Like, this is my lifetime, like, time that I dedicate to life, and then this is time I dedicate to self-care when I have time, when I'm done with my life things, when I have the means to do it. Many times we separate the things we need from our daily lives. But self-care is not about specific actions. Like, okay, if I do A, this is self-care. If I do B, this is self-care. If I do C, this is self-care. You can embed self-care, the act and mindset of self-care, in the most mundane of tasks in your daily life. So I'll give you another example that you probably all do, and it's a very mundane task in your everyday life. Another example is, let's say you're driving. Everybody, well, I can't say everybody. If you live in New York City, you don't drive, but most people, when you go to work, you drive to work, right? You drive. It's a very mundane task. Nobody's gonna say the act of driving is self-care. Nobody. But let's think about driving, a mundane task. Let's say you're driving a long distance, or maybe you're stuck in traffic and you're driving for a long time. And after you drive for a long time, let's say your leg starts to hurt. Okay, this is a very real life scenario. Your leg starts to hurt because you've been driving for a long time. If you feel your body in that moment, and if you listen to what your body is saying, and then you can feel that, okay, I have a situation, my leg hurts. A way of practicing self-care that you could do after you feel, okay, my leg hurts, what do I need from my body to take care of my leg at this moment? And for some people, when they ask themselves that question, the answer that feels right inside maybe take a 10-minute break. Pull over, take a 10-minute break, walk it out a little bit. That might be the answer you get from inside when you say, okay, what do I need from myself right now? I have a problem, my leg hurts, what do I need? But for some other people, I'm not saying that there's a one size fits all answer. I'm not saying that everybody should pull over when their leg hurts and walk it out. That's not my point. But for some people, It might be maybe you want to just keep driving, but massage it out with your other arm and like drive with one hand or something. I'm not promoting unsafe driving habits also, by the way, okay? So maybe that makes sense to you. But my point is that everyone has that voice and everyone knows exactly the right answer of what they should do to feel more cared for from your own actions. So that's the point. You don't have to set aside extra time out of your life to practice self-care. Self-care, as we mentioned earlier, is simply about listening to yourself, listening inside to what you need at every moment. Whether that means you're in a fight in a relationship, whether you're driving a car, whether you're sitting typing on the computer at work. Ask yourself constantly, check in. What do I need right now to feel more supported, to feel more understood, to feel more comfortable in my skin? And simply asking those questions, checking in, is the same thing as a mother looking at her child and says, what does my baby need right now? You can already feel and imagine the quality of care versus a mother who is constantly watching her child. What does my baby need? What does my baby need? And then acting on what she sees and feels versus a mother, the baby's right there, but she's like, la 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 la. Is this mother going to be able to take care of her child well? No, that's common sense. You guys already know this and you already feel that. But imagine those two scenarios of the mothers in your own life. Am I a mother to myself, the kind that is always watching the baby and taking care of what the baby needs because I'm listening and watching, smelling and feeling and touching? Or am I the type of mother to myself where the baby is saying things, but I'm just la 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 la
Ignoring it.
la la la, oh, like this. So what kind of mother are you to yourself? Or what kind of father are you to yourself?
Yeah, it's very important to note that instead of relying on somebody else to fix the problem for you and asking somebody to do something for you, if you take a step back and say, okay, I'm in this situation, what do I need? How can I help myself, uh, become less, solve your situation by simply lending an ear that can inspire you with your own personal way of how you can help yourself out in a situation. So that is literally taking care of yourself. Like Linda said, like a mom watching her child, she's watching and listening. So just listen to yourself. You don't need to think of this in a complicated way. If you simply lend an ear to what's going on inside you, then you will take action. You will say the words, you will have the thoughts that you need. And that is why, through our channel and through brain education, we want to help people connect their mind and body as one through the content that we offer and through all the lives and everything that we offer. We want to teach people how to connect to that inner voice. Like Ilchi, to yourself, love yourself.
I want to read some comments. I see some good questions and good comments that I want to address. So, VA Tracker says sometimes the voice may come at unexpected times, which is true because the unexpected times occur when the voice is always there, but there are certain times when I can hear it and feel more connected to myself where I can hear the voice than others. It's not that the voice is not there, it's just the times I can hear it, I'm connected with it and I'm feeling it. And then the other times I'm not. So that's a good point that it's not, unless you're always connected to yourself, always checking in, always asking, you're right that it can come at unexpected times. And then Gloria asked a very good question, or said a very good comment. The inner voice is obscured by mental, emotional conditioning of early childhood, school, and culture. They're always telling us who we should be. So this is a very good point, because when I talk about inner voice, now it gets a little bit more complicated because we're adding more layers to this. Inner voice, there are actually two inner voices. There are two inner voices. One is the inner voice that comes from your false self, and the other one is an inner voice that comes from your true self. So it's kind of like the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. There's one voice that's very sexy, the one voice that's that makes you do very comfortable things, that makes you live a very maybe exciting life, or makes you act in ways that school, culture, and society has told you you should be. And then on the other side, we have a voice that, okay, no, that sounds good. However, this is what I really want. Even though my parents, my teachers, my friends, school, society has told me I should be A, there's another voice B that says, wait, calm down. This is what I really want. So that's the inner guide, that inner voice that I'm talking about, Gloria. The voice that knows what you want, not the voice that follows what society and your parents and people around you want. So if you're able to find those two voices inside, the voice that knows what you want is the voice I'm talking about. So next question, I hope that clarifies, Gloria. If you still have a question, please type in the chat. The next one, Manish, I have a question. I always think about others and their actions impacting me. Please help. I think you're not the only one. Many people are always concerned about how people are perceiving me, how people are acting towards me, and are they judging me for what I do? The fact that you're so preoccupied with what others are doing, their actions and their thoughts towards you, that is a sign that you are very disconnected from yourself. Because this goes back to what we said earlier. We focus our minds more on the outside rather than inside. Focusing your mind more on the outside is exactly the same as the mother who's looking the other direction when her baby is crying. That's what you're doing. Because inside you feel something, you know something, you want something. However, you're so preoccupied with what other people are saying that you completely cannot hear what's going on inside. So, a way to change that is you have to be honest and see and feel how much you are suffering from living like this. If you can feel that as a result of living like this, you're maybe physically unwell, emotionally feel empty and drained, mentally exhausted, if you can really feel that, then decide, do I want to keep suffering or do I want to end my suffering? Which one do you want? You can keep choosing to live like this if it's not painful enough. However, if you feel living like this is very, very painful,
Right.
yeah, if you feel that it's very painful, then
When it gets too
yeah, in life, if you're suffering enough, you change. But until you get to that breaking point, people live in their habits. So check yourself. Are you suffering enough
right.
to change that habit? Yes or no? That question only you can answer, and only you can choose to change that. Yes. All right, so
Yes, that's basically the brain education principles that we teach, where your mind goes, your energy follows. So if your mind is focused on something on the outside, that's where all your attention and energy will go. And that's just a basic principle of brain education and your mind power. So, uh, you know, try to focus on that and try to really, if you focus on yourself, that's where your energy and attention will go. So I just wanted to mention that's one of the brain education principles we teach.
So self-care starts from people realizing that maybe they're disconnected to your body and disconnected from your inner voice, and then mending all of the problems. Maybe you have some emotional problems, physical problems, mental problems in your life, starts from first and foremost connecting with what has been disconnected in your mind and body. So think of this is your body, and my face is your mind, okay? Think of a mind and body should be like this. Even in a relationship, don't you have better relationships when two people are like this, energetically and physically? When they're facing each other, when they're looking at each other, you have better relationships with people, right? So which relationship looks better? Like this or like this? When you're disconnected from your mind and body, your body is like this, but your mind is like this. And if you keep operating in this way, it's going to cause chaos and confusion. But if you operate like this, it's going to cause love and growth, because you know what you need and you know what you want. So this is why on our channel, we have the 10-minute exercises that help you at least in 10 minutes. At least for 10 minutes in your busy, busy, busy life, you can take time to connect your mind and body as one. So in other words, it's 10 minutes for you to pay attention to what's going on inside of you, especially if you have a very busy, 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 busy life and a very demanding schedule, and you don't have much time and you don't have much resources. But even if you're broke, even if you have no money, even if you're the poorest person in the world, everybody has a brain. And because you have a brain, everybody who has a brain, which is every single person in this world, has the capacity to pay attention to your body using your brain.
So now, if you're still looking and thinking about a practical thing or daily thing you can do to incorporate self-care into your life, try something like this. So try to lie down or sit in a quiet place and place your hands on your heart like this, and then just have a conversation with yourself. You can have your eyes open, have a conversation, like you're having a conversation. If you want to check in on your friend, you call them on the phone, you meet up with them, you converse with your friend to catch up with them and see what they're going through in their life and how you can help them. So same thing with your body, same thing with yourself. If you're not sure what you need, if you're not sure how to take care of yourself better, if you're not sure what you need to do, and honestly, we would be lying if we said we have the perfect answer for you, because anyone says that, no one has the perfect answer for somebody else. How can Linda, how can anyone say that they know you better than yourself? So please don't try to find someone who will give you all the answers, because nobody will truly know what you need as well as you do. And if you think that somebody knows it better, it's simply because you haven't heard your own internal voice yet, because you believe that others' external voices are more credible than your own.
So before I talk about the next things, I see in the super chat, Annabelle and Michelle donated. Woo! Thank you, Annabelle. Thank you, Michelle, for your generous and kind donation. We so appreciate you a lot.
Thank
It'll
you so
help our
much.
channel. Yay, thank you. Yeah, so you guys can see Annabelle and Michelle donated using the super chat. So it's that rectangle button with the dollar sign. If you donate over $25, we will schedule a one-on-one session with you to talk about something more specific. Self-care could be something we could talk about as well. So if you're interested in that, please take advantage. All right. So please trust that you already have the answer to this question inside of you. How can I practice more self-care? What do I want? What can I do to take care of myself right now? You just need to find that voice. You already have that voice. You just need to find the voice, like a treasure hunt, like an Easter egg hunt. You have to dig and search and look. And if you find that voice, go to a quiet place where you are free from distractions. Close your eyes, place your hands on your heart, and deeply connect with that voice. Deeply and sincerely, like you're really, really desperately trying to find something, ask yourself, call your name. Linda, how can I take care of you better? Like this. So that sincere, earnest voice is very important. Check this out. This is case A, okay? Case A. Linda, how can I take care of yourself better? What do I need? What do I want? That's case A, okay? Case B. Linda, I really want to help you take care of yourself better. What do you need? What do you really, really want from me? Please tell me what it is I can do to take care of you better. Case A and case B. Can you not just see the difference, but can't you feel the difference? If somebody
Definitely.
if somebody asked you, Gabby, what's wrong with you? Versus, Gabby, what's wrong with you? Who would you open up to more? A or B?
Case, yeah, you can feel your sincere mind and heart.
Mm-hmm. So take some time for you. Place your hands on your heart, go to a quiet place, and deeply, sincerely, like you're really honestly trying to find that answer, ask yourself, what do I need to do now? How can I make myself less anxious? How can I make myself less depressed? What can I imagine myself doing that I can feel from inside would make me so, so, so happy? At first, the answer will not be clear. It's not going to be clear because you're not used to listening to that voice. You're not used to tuning into that voice. So it's very natural if that voice is not clear or not loud at all. However, when you keep asking inside and keep focusing your energy to go into your heart so that you can hear your inner voice, you will find that answer. So try that. And when you have some time today or maybe sometime this week, try that for about 5 to 10 minutes. Just have a conversation with yourself inside and try to find the answer. But if you still can't find the answer, that's okay. That's absolutely okay. You just need more practice, more connection. But if you can't find the answer your first session, that's absolutely okay. Please don't be hard on yourself. If you still can't find the answer, then I recommend at least doing the 10-minute routines on our channel, because all of those videos are designed to help you for at least 10 minutes in your busy life to feel, focus, and see what's going on inside. If you can't find your own answer, at least try that, because at least trying that, the 10-minute routines, is better than sitting here and, oh my God, I can't hear. What do I do? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like this. Don't do that. Okay?
So I saw more donations from Preet.
Oh,
Thank you so
wow.
much.
Preet, thank you.
And also,
Wow,
Annette, thank you
Annette!
so much. We got two more donations.
Annabelle,
Thank you, thank
Michelle,
you.
Preet, Annette. I made a song about you guys. Annabelle, Michelle, Preet, Annette. Annabelle, Michelle, Preet, Annette. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your so yes, so when your mind is connected to your body, then just that act alone can be an act of self-care. So, the whole conclusion of what we're trying to say is if you run around busy, busy all day and your mind is all over the place and you run around like a chicken with its head cut off, if you operate in that state, you're not practicing self-care because that alone can make you very stressed and very anxious. So if you can't find those answers from your inner voice, that's okay. You just need to practice listening to that inner voice so you can see and realize your own inner strength to take care of yourself.
So what do you
Oh
guys
my
think?
gosh, we got a
Oh my god,
VA
VA
tracker.
tracker, $20. Okay, now we gotta add you to the song. Annabelle,
Okay.
Michelle, Preet, Annette, VA tracker 2. Annabelle, Michelle, Preet, Annette, VA tracker 2. And one more time, everybody. Annabelle, Michelle, Preet, Annette, VA Tracker 2. Annabelle, Michelle, Preet, Annette, VA Tracker 2. Woo, 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 woo. Oh man, I just made that song right there. Okay, so what do you guys think about any of the things we discussed today? We want to hear your thoughts. So I see that some people said some stuff. I want to mention those comments. So, um, Michelle, I agree about what you guys said. I hope more and more people start knowing what true self-care means. Yes, this is absolutely the most realistic, practical way of practicing self-care, not some fancy lavish vacation that nobody has the time and money for. That's not realistic at all. And then okay, so VA Tracker said something very important. I think this was when we're talking about the inner voice, holding your hand on your heart and then talking to your inner voice. Sadly, sometimes we hear the voice but ignore it. That is a very good point because you are not the only one, first and foremost. Don't feel guilty, you are not the only one. Do you know why we ignore that voice? It's it's because I mentioned we have two voices. We have the devil and then we have the angel. The devil, the devil's voice is very sexy, very seductive, very convincing because that voice knows exactly your weaknesses, your fears, and your limitations, and it whispers nice things based on those. But then the angel voice, it's not the sexiest voice. It's not the most attractive voice, but it's the right voice. And many of the times we fall into that sexy voice. It's kind of like this. Okay, I'm going to give you a very realistic example too. Okay, I like realistic examples, people. I'm a very realistic person. So, for a man, and for a woman too, when you see someone that you're attracted to, imagine, let's say you are a heterosexual male, okay? You're a heterosexual male. You see a very sexy woman. Maybe you've all dated people like this. Very sexy, pretty, attractive. You're drawn to people like this, right? But then you end up dating her and you realize that she's a freaking devil. And she's like the worst person, horrible girlfriend. And then on the other hand, again, this is for a heterosexual male example, okay? On the other hand, there's a nice lady. She's not the prettiest. She's not the sexiest. Definitely not like the smoking hot other one. But she's a really nice person. And being with her and spending time with her and being in a relationship with her is really good because she brings out the best in you. Like this. At the first glance, we might instinctively go for that sexy, hot, smoking woman. So that's kind of like the two voices in your head. There's one voice that's very attractive, very hot, very sexy, and the other voice that is not the sexiest, but knows what's right and wrong and leads you to your highest and best self. So you have to recognize that these two voices are going on in your body at all times, and then choose, up to you. Do I want to listen to that sexy woman, or do I want to listen to the good woman? Or sexy man, good man. Whatever your preferences are. But the point is that it's okay if you fall sometimes into that sexy voice. Just pull yourself back and say, okay, next time, I messed up. Next time, I'll listen to that good voice. That's all you have to do.
We got a funny comment. I see you says the devil voice is always telling me to go and eat the chocolate and the chips, even though it hurts my stomach. It always says you'll be fine. That's so true. But again, you can, next time, even though it's very seductive to listen to that voice, think, maybe not today. Listen
Not
to
today, Satan.
the voice that is right. The voice that is better for you, better for your health. It may not be as appealing, it may taste like lettuce, but
There's another really good question. Hello Mello. Hello Mello says, hello ladies, would you say that when you get into a consistent practice of this inner voice of self-care that it can attract the lavish versions of self-care like the expensive vacays? Why not? Why not? I hate to say guarantee because there are so many factors that play into not giving guarantees, but energetically speaking, if you are first and foremost connected to yourself, tuning into yourself, knowing what you want and what you need, then you can use that power to manifest the things that you want and need because it comes from within. If inside you really want that expensive vacation, that lavish vacation, there's nothing wrong with expensive, lavish vacations. I love expensive, lavish vacations. I don't have the money for it, but I love going on expensive, lavish vacations. There's nothing wrong with it. If that is something that you truly need and want from inside, then your brain will act in ways to get it for you. That's another essential teaching of brain education. When you really want something, as Gabby mentioned, when you really want something, where your mind goes, energy follows. That's a key brain education principle. If your mind really wants that expensive vacation, then energy will go to that thought. When energy goes to that thought, then your brain will work in ways, how can I get it? What can I do? What can I say? How can I align my life, place my cards so that I can get that vacation? So I suggest first try it. Connect with your inner voice and see how you can make that happen in your life. Because you inside, that same inner voice knows how you can get that expensive vacation if you really want it. So, Annette, sorry, I'm just reading Peter's comment. Men usually fall into women's spider webs. Oh
that's
my God.
true.
Yeah. It was a very realistic example I gave you, right? Even for heterosexual women, we fall for really handsome, handsome dudes and they end up being a real bad person while there's a very nice guy that we friend zone all the time.
Exactly.
Oh man. Okay, so Gabby, how about you read some of the other comments that we have afterwards?
So one of the comments from Edebiat, he asked, how can we stop hating ourselves? So to stop hating, I mean, that all goes with self-love. And if you hate yourself, then you have to kind of change that voice inside and think of positive ways of how you can love yourself. So that's kind of like a rewiring you have to do inside. Because if if your inner voice is constantly telling you negative things about yourself, and then you're gonna just really hate yourself and go deeper and deeper into that. So I would say every time you have those thoughts, just switch them to something positive. So if you're like, ugh, I'm so ugly, I'm this, I'm not smart, something like that, switch it and train your brain, switch it. So change it. I'm so beautiful, I'm so smart. And then you could train your brain and develop that way.
Yes. Everybody has reasons they should hate themselves. You're not the only one. But yes, you have shortcomings and you have bad things. But on the other hand, you also do many good things that you're not aware of. Did you know even the sun that gives life to all Earth and gives life to the entire universe, our solar system actually, just not the entire universe, our solar system, even the sun has black spots where there's no light. Did you know that? But can you imagine what would happen if the sun only focused on its black spots and it said, "Oh, I'm a freaking failure. I have black spots. It's all useless. I should just give up. I hate myself." And then the sun just stopped giving light because it only saw the tiny black spots and it forgot about the fact that it's giving life to 8 billion people on this earth. If it forgot about that and only focused on its negative things and it just gave up and died one day, can you imagine what would happen? We would all die too. If we don't have the sun, we can't have life. So same thing with you. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name. Edebiat. Edebiat. You have black spots, but you also have many good things you're doing. But the reason why we hate ourselves is like if we only focus on the bad stuff about us and we forget the 90% good things versus the 10% bad things. Your brain is just trained right now to focus on the 10% bad things versus the 90% good things. So please sit down and write all the good things that you're doing in your life. It could be small. I'm a good listener. I take care of my family. I am responsible. Blah, 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 blah. Anything is okay. And then you'll see, wow, I'm doing a lot more good than I thought. So you have to give your brain new information. Help it see the good things that you're doing.
Yes. And again, I wanted to say thank you, Joanna. We got another donation. Thank you so much.
Wow! Okay, we gotta add you to the song now. We gotta add everybody to the song who donates. Okay, let me see. How can I do this? Annabelle, Michelle, Preet, Annette, VA Tracker 2, and Joanna. Okay, that's not good. And Joanna Delosa. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Annabelle, Michelle, Preet, Annette, VA Tracker 2, and Joanna Delosa. We love you. Yay! Thank you, Joanna. Oh man, that's so funny. Joanna, since you donated $25, please email us. Email us and we'll schedule a separate one-on-one session to meet with you. Okay? I'm gonna leave the email here. I'm I'm happy you guys like our songs.
You're a great singer. Yes. So, all right. So, uh, it's time to wrap up now, but we're going to give some closing remarks before we go. So, first, our 10-minute routine channel that we talked about a few times throughout the live that has a lot of meditations, even one specifically to connecting to yourself. So we will link in the chat below the link to the 10-minute routines playlist. I'll do that in a second. And then also, if you support us and if you like our channel, we have our new t-shirts. So Linda is wearing it. It's the Love Myself, Love Myself, Heal Myself t-shirt. So this t-shirt is perfect to go with this topic. It can be a reminder for you to connect to yourself throughout the day and really listen to that inner voice inside. So I'll link below the t-shirt link as well. And so let me do that right now.
Victoria asks, how do I pay online? Victoria, under where you see the chat typing line, there's a rectangular square, rectangular, did I just say rectangular square? A rectangular button with a dollar sign. So if you click that, it will help you donate money to the channel using the super chat. So yeah, if you want to be included in the song today, then please use the super chat to donate to our channel. Any donation over $25, we will schedule a separate 15-minute session with you to discuss whatever you need one-on-one. Yes. Okay. Emma, yes. Do you guys ship to Canada? Yeah, we can. So on our website, it won't let you ship to Canada, but please email me, braineducationtv@gmail.com. Email me your size and address, and then we could ship it there. Okay, so please email us separately. Yeah, and Annette, if you like the t-shirt, then please purchase from our site. If you're in the US, then you can purchase it directly from the site. But please email us separately, okay? All right, so yeah, before we go, I just want to say thank you all so much for coming. And again, the super chat is there. That's the rectangle with the dollar sign under the typing. So if you want to donate to our channel and be included in the song for today, then please consider doing that. But we always, as always, even if you don't donate, we appreciate your support. We appreciate your attendance. You guys teach us so much. You've grown me so much, grown the channel so much, and we are so, so, so grateful for your support and viewership of our videos.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. And I wanted to mention to keep in touch with us. Please follow us on our social media channels. So we have Instagram and Facebook where we update with new things coming out, especially our lives. And then also subscribe to our newsletter. If you go to our website, braineducationtv.com, and there's a place where you can sign up for a newsletter. We send one out every single week. So you can stay up to date with what we're doing and make sure to join our next lives.
All right, thank you all. Oh, I just wanted to tell you, by the way, next week, next Tuesday, we're going to do another live, but we're inviting our friend David from Body and Brain TV to come talk about what it's like being a brain education instructor. So maybe you're curious, okay, you guys are brain education teachers, but what does a day in the life of a brain education teacher look like? What makes them different from non-brain education instructors? So if you're interested about that, join us next Tuesday. I'm going to invite my friend David Driscoll from Body and Brain TV to discuss. He's also a brain education instructor, to discuss what's life like being a brain education instructor. So if you guys are curious, drop in next week.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining.
See you, everyone. We love you.